Morning and welcome to Monday Sportif. My name is Charles and I'm here to tell you why Scotland are going to cause an upset at the Euros this summer. Welcome, it is game day and I'm excited to see my team, Scotland, taking on Germany in the opening game of the Euros. I'm just outside the Emirates Stadium and I thought I'd give you a little preview on how Scotland can go about upsetting the apple cart and getting out of Group A early doors. We all know what it's like to be a Scotland fan. It's not been the most successful period in our history, but the team that approaches Germany this summer is on an upwards curve. Not only are we in our second Euros in a row, but we also happen to have been promoted twice in the Nations League, making us a Group A team. We go into the tournament in pot 3 in a pretty tough group that has Germany as the hosts, Hungary, who have been an upcoming force in European football, and of course the ever-dependable Switzerland. They always get out the groups, right? Years gone by, Scotland have been the team that are just happy to be there, happy to qualify, and I know from my childhood, I didn't really get to see us beyond Euro 96 and France 98. But we're back, we're on an upward curve, and there's a squad that's absolutely brimming with talent. Scotland have always had a player of talent, and in Andy Robertson they genuinely have a world-class leader and left-back who's been on absolute fire for Liverpool, even if it has been a bit of an injury-hit season for him. Elsewhere, one of his good friends, an Arsenal loanee, Kieran Tierney. On the left-hand side, we are blessed with talent. But long gone are the days of Scotland only having one or two players. There's actually a depth in this squad that's really focused, if I'm honest, around the Premier League. John McGinn has been doing absolute bits at Aston Villa, and his deep runs lying from midfield have somehow got him 18 Scotland goals, which is nothing to be sniffed at international level. Equally, Scott McTominay nearly topped the goal scoring charts in a pretty competitive group for Scotland that included the likes of Spain, a Haaland and Ødegaard inspired Norway, and even Georgia, who finished fourth but find themselves at the group courtesy of the Nations League qualifiers. I am not going to pretend that Scotland are the world beaters that will go on to win this competition, but I think if you scratch underneath the surface you'll find a team that are fully capable of getting competitive results. In fact, since Euro 2020, if you go back over our competitive record, it's 15 wins out of 21. A record not really matched by any other teams, including the likes of England. I think it's getting a bit too cold and windy out here. Why don't we take it inside? I'll put a brew on and we can talk about this in a bit more detail. That is a little bit better. Nothing like a morning brew on match day. And I'm excited for tonight. I will be in a London-based, German-themed beer cellar, hoping to see a pretzel the size of my head, a couple of steins and Helles lager in my hand, and a nice currywurst or bratwurst to get me excited. Germany are an excellent host, and Scotland is the perfect opening tie. So where were we? How does Scotland manage to get through this Group A ties? They start up tonight against the mighty Germans, the likes of Kai Havertz, Musiala, Florian Wirtz. They're a great squad on paper. But if I'm honest, if you had to define Germany, you'd say they've been a letdown in the last however many years. They've not got out of the group stage, they failed to qualify for some major tournaments, and even though on paper they're fantastic, this is probably Bayern's poorest season in a long time. There's a lot of churn and change in their lineup, and I think there will be a lot of pressure on them on game week 1. Can Scotland turn up? The last time Scotland played against a host nation, of course, was that famous 0-0 draw at Euro 2020 against England, a game that Scotland got slated for celebrating it as a victory. But let's be honest, when you're not the top seed and you take points off the top seed, you put yourself in the positions you need to be in. Before I forget, if you have enjoyed anything in this video, please do subscribe to our channel. We're very small and just starting out, and you can say you were there when we began. Monday Sportif is made of 5 presenters, and we'll be bringing you the latest from all of the Euros this month and into July. And hopefully, for my sake, I'll be talking about Scotland not only getting out of the groups, but going that little bit further. Switzerland seem to be on a little bit of a downward trajectory. Who knows why, but the attitude in their camp doesn't quite add up. Yes, they have some superstars in there, and in Granit Xhaka they have one of the most on-form players in world football right now. But they've gone with something different up top. There's no more Briel Mbolo, there's no more Seferovic, and I just think Switzerland might struggle to do what they've done for many tournaments now, which is getting out of the groups. It's not to underplay what they're capable of, but if I'm a Scotland fan, I don't think I'm that scared of what they've put on the table, and I would hope Scotland were capable of getting goals and keeping it tight at the back. If we can get a draw against them, it puts us in a great position for the fixtures against Hungary, and who knows, maybe you'll see us even topping the group if everything went our way. Steve Clarke is canny. And I say Steve Clarke is canny because since Euro 2020, we've won 15 out of our last 21 competitive matches. That's top tier results. And I think what we've done in friendlies has maybe undermined us, but actually, in a competitive sense, we just keep winning. And the reason for that is Steve Clarke being able to change his tactics to suit, whether it's pushing on the counter-attack via our wing-backs, whether it's dominating in the midfield and getting more ball possession, or whether it's simply shutting up shop and trying to frustrate opponents. We've really been good at getting out of qualifying. We've been great in the Nations League. I wish we were in the Champions League, but that's another video. But we've been great in the Nations League. We've managed to get promoted for the second time. Not many nations can say that. And we actually find ourselves in the top tier at the expense of the likes of England, who of course went out to Hungary. What people need to appreciate is Scotland understand that balance between defence and attack. We are more than the sum of our parts, and we have a unity in the way that our ball distribution goes down each channel. Robertson kicking on, getting very deep on the left and pulling it back to John McGinn and Scott McTominay, who almost act as two number 10s. It's a phenomenal transformation from what they do for Villa and Man United. And when those two put on a Scotland shirt, for some reason, the goals just flow. I think what you're going to see is a slight upset to the narrative, where two players who are maybe not deemed the best in the world really turn it on and look professional. Scotland also have a phenomenal work rate, and in Billy Gilmore they have a midfielder who just keeps running all day, is tenacious, and if he can avoid getting red cards, we could really see him having an impact on games, certainly between 60 to 90 minutes later on. He's a very fit individual, and he's the kind of midfielder Scotland have been missing for a little while. If I had to pull out my one player to shine, I think it will be Andy Robertson. People have been robbed of seeing him on the international stage, but what he delivers as an attacking left-back honestly is world class. And I think he should be in the same brackets as the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai, as the likes of Musiala or Wirtz, as an in-form, genuine worldie in a national shirt. If he can be supported by all those other Premier League stars, the McGinns, the McTominays, the Ryan Christies, even Tierney at the back coming in from his spell in Spain, I really think Scotland are going to put the cat among the pigeons. Is that the right phrase? Put the Scots against the Germans. One of the last things to say is the Tartan Army will be bringing it. We have 200,000 Scotland fans who have headed out to Germany. They've landed in Munich and they're here for a good time. Whether it's kilts, bagpipes, flags, singing, even the drinking culture, you will see a lot of happy Scots really making the stadiums make some noise. And in a world that's hosted by Germany, who have fantastic fans, game week 1 will be electric. I'm really interested to see what your predictions are on how far you think Scotland can go. Do you fall into the lazy narrative that we're a small nation that never do well? Or actually, have you been following our progress and are you excited to see what we can do on the world stage? I've been Charles, this is Monday Sportif. Do like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Just me and Dennis Bergkamp. Who knew?